Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Hi, welcome. So for today, our group would like to present case study group presentation for subject Organizational Behaviour code MGT3043. So we are from section 1, group 1, and this presentation was prepared for Dr. SHAHRI bin Abu Saman. So for our presenter today, firstly is me, Ahmad IZZUDDIN bin Ahmad AZMAN, that will conduct this presentation, followed by
My name is ADLINA binti OMAR.
And my name is FARAH Suraya binti Muhammad SAMSUDIN.
My name is Masriana binti Ma'alman.
My name is QURRATUL binti ALIAS.
My name is RAFINI IZZATTI binti Muhammad RAFI.
So that's our presenter for today's presentation. Following with the next slide. So what are the points that we are going to present today? So the first one was cultural value dimension by organizational and also collab. And number 2 was form of bias based by collab. And lastly, number 3, strategy in managing the change. So for the next slide, I will pass to the next presenter. Take it away.
Thank you, Amin. So cultural value dimension by Jade Hofstede is it creates a culture aspect theory as a framework for intercultural communication. It demonstrates how a society culture affects its member values and how these values connect to behavior. There are 5 key cultural dimensions Hofstede, which is identity, power, gender, uncertainty, and time. Next. There are 2 dimensions of cultural values used in the organization. First dimension of cultural values that can be seen is identity, which is it refers to how organization or people prioritize group requirement over individual needs. It refers to how, for example, President Han is more friendly with employees, as can be seen from the case study. President Han often takes her time to talk and care about her employees. Next, second dimension of cultural value used in the organization is uncertainty, which is uncertainty highlights society that either values stability and predictability over uncertainty. For example, in this case study, a non-profit organization called International Education Center, IEC, offers citizens of a Mid-Western state information and education about other countries. We can see that the previous president of the organization, Han, was a very effective person involving relationships across the state. President Han did this through establishing connection between citizens of the state and tourists from around the world so that they can interact and exchange knowledge and the organization runs smoothly. I will pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Mas Diana. So for Colette's cultural value dimension, we can state that she was an identity person. So what her identity cultural value dimension? She was a person with high performer and go-getter, as this was proven among her colleagues, following with her motivation and passion person for international work. So from her past experience as ORR, Office of Refugee Resettlement in Washington DC, she also has worked for an international organization where she traveled extensively around Southeast Asia and Africa, and also supervising daily operation in Faith's office. So for the next cultural value that implemented by her was power. So actually, what is power? So Hofstede defines that power is a distance dimension as maintaining strict rules that establish the types of relationship with individuals have with another. Power also represents the level of inequality and equality, as well as the level of hierarchy and upward mobility within a cultural group. And also in regards to a relationship, power dimension can also represent a culture tendencies toward authority on one end and one orientation towards laissez-faire leadership on the other. Hofstede also found that low power distance culture emphasize equality and also minimize power and status. So for Collab, she used the power to ensure that the employee finish the task that has been given, as IEC is expecting her to expand the organization on a national level, and based on her past experience, is also convinced that the board of trustees that she can handle the organization target, which is challenge the employee and push the organization to reach its financial and also fundraising goal. Following with the determined to change the culture of the organizational operation. This is when she came for the first time at the IEC, she noticed that the staff behavior and also attitude really the staff attitude and behavior and the culture of this organization can operate the way it used to, and she really determined to change it. So I will pass to the next presenter for the next topic. Please take it away.
Thanks, AMIN. So I'm RAFINI IZZATTI binti Muhammad Rafi. Will present the next question, which is the form of bias that has been faced by Kolej. So first of all, bias is the perception, which by means a process of organizing and interpreting sensory perception and giving meaning to our surrounding. People conduct is usually based on their impression of reality rather than reality itself. So we need to start with both the factors which influence our perception in order to understand what we all share in common and also in our perception of reality. Because what we perceive is becoming the actuality out of which we act. Next, so based on this case study, we can see that there is an availability of bias that has been practiced by the IEC employee when Kolej started work there as a board of director. Availability of bias is defined as our desire to base value judgment on accessible information. Our decision making is influenced by a combination of easily available knowledge and previous first-hand experience with similar information. As for the case above, Kolej was affected by her employee when she heard that her own employee were talking bad about her. They expect her to be as Han, the former director of IEC. They said that Kolej was never having a single time with them or even care about them as Han. The IEC employee behavior makes Kolej frustrated because they show up late to the meeting room and leave her as soon as the meeting is over. During the meeting also, she noticed that they offer her a blank stare, and this made her feel that she needs to do something in order to change how this organization actually works. So next, I will pass to the next presenter, FARAH Suraya.
Thank you, Rafini. Now I will present the next 2 points for this question. The next form of bias is confirmation bias. This bias will occur when an employer tries to validate their previous opinions to ensure whether the outcome expected is true or not. Since Kolej is a goal-oriented and achievement-focused person, the organization expects Kolej can lead the employees to reach its organizational goals. However, the employees is dissatisfied with this decision-making because they more prefer Han, the previous CEO, than Kolej. The last form is escalation of commitment. It is referring when someone sticks with one decision, even though it is wrong. Kolej took no further action, even her employees show hint of dissatisfaction, and only she realized then after the staff meeting happened. And this situation is also related to the confirmation bias, as I mentioned before, because they seek consistency and act in accordance with their previous behaviors. Okay, then I will pass the last question to the next presenter.
Thank you, Suraya. I will continue the presentation for question 3. In response to question A, organizational culture or corporate culture is a set of shared value and belief that has an active influence on employees' behavior. The term shared value means that a large number of people are guided by the same value and understand them in the same way. Next slide. Understanding organizational culture is critical. It is a key aspect in any company success. If you want to be a sustainably excellent company, you have to have a sustainably good culture. Say Douglas Arconen, the energetic CEO of Campbell Soup Co. Share common perceptor and cognitive bias in issue B. Biases in calculating probabilities and biases in recognizing causality are all listed below as common perceptual and cognitive bias. Competitive edge and financial success are the first 2 strategies. This helps a company to outperform its competitor in terms of profit margin, creating value for the company and its shareholder. Next presenter.
Thank you, Ain. The next strategy change is moral and productivity. While many people believe that good moral equals high productivity, this is not always the case. Between the two, there is no direct and positive relationship. The four probable links between moral and productivity are as follows. Aside from that, quality culture is a set of behavior or a set of behavior that encompasses all employees in an organization. Is manner of working in which everyone strives to be the greatest at all they do. A solid structure is necessary for establishing a high-quality culture. Quality risk management, process and system, oversight, issue management, and so on are all part of a low-quality culture. Lastly, person organization fit also in one of the strategies. In the person organization fit, there is retention. Just because an employee loves their job doesn't mean they will stay with your organization if they don't feel they fit in there. When an employee feels a sense of fit with an organization, this can result in their having a strong sense of involvement, a strong bond with their work colleagues, identify with their organization mission and values, and ultimately increasing their desire to stay on with your company. I want to pass to the next presenter.
So thank you to our presenter. In conclusion, so based on the presentation from our presenter just now, we can conclude that KLAB and also the current Board of Directors at International Education Center, which is IEC, has a precise vision when it comes to discussing the personal aims and desire for the organization personnel. And also this type of behavior can benefit the firm by allocating resource, determining company priorities, and ensuring that everyone in the organization is working together towards goal and objective. So that's all from our presentation today. Thank you very much and have a good day.